Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa, a channel, a network, a modality where we apply the principles of philosophy, spirituality, mysticism, and business to rapid lifestyle transformation. We just got back into town yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, and we're still setting up again the Real Javier Novoa studios to begin our work in earnest of making videos, even though we never stopped it on the trip. And we did do a sort of a travel vlog, and if you haven't seen the last videos, the videos for the last few days were a travel vlog, and it was so popular and we got so many good comments about it. We're thinking about having another or a spin-off modality, just doing like travel vlogs and comments on different things like restaurants and different locations. It is a very interesting side topic that we can do. But we're still, our 100% commitment and our main bread and butter, so to speak, here is rapid lifestyle transformation. We're going to be going into videos more on the details of rapid lifestyle transformation here in the next few days, picking up where we left off a few days ago. And it was a great trip, ladies and gentlemen. We learned a lot. We saw a lot of Texas. We went to the Sam Houston National Forest. We did some excursions there. We're going to be doing more there so that we can hone our survivalism skills, so that we can find safe places and ideas for places to stay on, so on and so forth, and so that we can convey that information to you as a concrete modality. So do stay tuned for a lot of value that we got from the trip that we will be adding to our videos. So ladies and gentlemen, today, just getting back into the groove and the swing, constant reminders, as Marcus Aurelius talks about, that we have to constantly remind ourselves of these principles. And the main principle is and continues to be, I contemplated this a lot on the trip, and it was sort of crystallized, and it came home, and I did understand it, but now I fully understand a statement by the great Eckhart Tolle, who was discussing manifesting. And he basically said, okay, in order to manifest something, you imagine having, say, a house on the beach or a house on an island, and then you imagine, how would I feel if you had that? And then he said, probably the same way I feel now. And that's actually a very good trick to manifesting, because remember, once you get the $1 million, once you get the house, once you get the boat, the getting of it is no longer interesting, and you're now in a place where you have absolutely no doubt of it, and yet you have some minor satisfaction. But then you have to shift quickly to focusing on other things that get your juices flowing. And this is sort of the eternal wheel of desire and attaining our desire, and so forth, so on and so forth. It's why we came. But an even greater purpose of why we came is to learn what underlies it all, and to align ourselves with what underlies it all. What underlies it all, ladies and gentlemen, is consciousness. And the only thing that truly exists is consciousness. That's why you're never satisfied by the things. And that's why we always go back to Neville Goddard, what he said. He said the main mistake that people make in doing this work is making it more about the manifestations and the things, whereas you must make it about the consciousness who is desiring the things, and the consciousness and the space in which and through which the things are coming and moving and happening. And indeed, that is the only way to have a happy life. That's the only way to continuously remain on the upper levels of the emotional scale. Not continuously, but at least most of the time. And ironically, the way that you do this is by keeping yourself on the upper levels of the emotional scale. But in order to do that, you have to go general. In the next few videos, we're going to be laying out tools to do this. And the basic program is this, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, on this channel, we want to be specific, and we are going to be continue to present videos on the specifics. Hands in the clay, how to get to where we want, how to plan, how to figure out a place to live, and so on and so forth, how to get your life free from the prison grid from a boss, because these times call for that. However, the way to go about that with as least resistance as possible is to generally have this, what Vadim Zeland calls this backdrop of a mirror. The mirrors that the Venetians used to make used to have a golden background or backdrop. And this would basically color everything that was reflected in the mirror. So too, you have to have a general backdrop. And that could be a backdrop of satisfaction. That could be a backdrop of saying that the universe is taking care of me, and so on and so forth. Or as Vadim Zeland said, today the universe is taking me on a walk. And we're going to be emphasizing it more, emphasizing these modalities more in the next few days, so that we can get into the swing of that. Because once you have the groundwork down, it's really easy then to go and have fun and get your hands in the clay. So the groundwork is you wake up in the morning and you try to meditate, and you try to get on that good feeling disc as early as possible, and you see how long you can stay on it. You see how long, as Abraham Hicks says, before you come to a negative emotion. Then when you come to a negative emotion, well, that's okay. You just tell yourself, well, we can give it another run tomorrow. And of course, you use the other tools to try to feel as good as possible. Then you keep doing this. Within about 3 or 4 days, ladies and gentlemen, your life changes. Things start taking off. And then when you start with a stable groundwork, when you start with stable foundations, then it's very easy to merge off that path and to start going very specific, and then you'll know when you're too specific because you'll have a negative emotion. But when you're already starting with irritability or with negative emotion, it's very hard to distinguish whether that's just because you went too specific or just because you're feeling bad because you started the day feeling bad, and it's harder to listen to your intuition and to your guidance. So we're going to be focusing on these modalities here. Meditate in the morning. Gratitude is very important. Actually write down what you're grateful and thankful for at least 3 times a day. Do this, and as Joe Dispenza talked about, this actually increases your immune system by 50%, and it's the quickest path to get what you want. As Joe Dispenza said, gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. We're going to be talking more about this. I want to drive this more home for our audience, as well as we're going to be talking about the aspect of sleep. You see, the greatest entrepreneurs on earth, the highest level ones, we're not talking about your neighbor next door who makes $200,000 a year, which is pretty good, but the highest achievers value sleep. And sleep is a main pillar of this modality. The reason it is perhaps not the reason that you may think, because the first reason is the aspect of sleep that Neville Goddard goes into. And that is that when you fall asleep in the state of the wish fulfilled, that solidifies it in your subconscious. It's able to bypass all of the blocks of your conscious mind and your body and seep straight into the subconscious. We're going to teach you techniques for how to go to sleep in the wish fulfilled. This is also written about in the biblical and the Quranic literature, as well as the simple science of sleep that says that you should focus on sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night. Don't think that you're going to deprive yourself of sleep and then perform better. But the third thing that we need to go into is the actual role of sleep and what sleep does. You see, it's not the sleep in itself that's necessary, as has been proven by many yogis and other what's the word I'm looking for? Other supernatural type figures who have been able to go without sleep for many days on end, and they've proven that the human body can do this. But what sleep does, the role of sleep, is to stop resistance. Because when you sleep, as Abraham Hicks talks about, you stop all resistance. and you go back into that nothingness state. At least that happens when you're in deep sleep. So it's not the actual sleep that's helping you and aiding your body, but it's the passing into that state of theta brain waves. It's passing into that state of nothingness. It's passing into that state of neutrality, and just for a few hours giving yourself a break from all of the resistant thoughts that have been going on in your mind. So focusing on sleep and rest is very important. I think it was Arianna Huffington who wrote a book about sleep, and she said actually that you must sleep your way to the top. So don't think that you're going to deprive yourself of sleep and get ahead, because you're losing so much more in terms of decision-making power, in terms of vibration, and just in terms of rest that you could give your body. Also, the great Jeff Bezos emphasizes this, and he says that he sleeps very well. He gives himself 7 to 8 hours a night. But whatever you do, make sure that you go into a state of non-resistance and give yourself a good night's sleep and a good night rest. We're going to be talking about all of these general pillars of rapid lifestyle transformation, of just setting yourself up to being a powerful creator. The athlete feeds himself well, he must rest well, and he also must train. We're going to give you all of the tools to do this in this modality in the coming days. You don't want to miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you value our material, please subscribe and like to the channel, because it allows us to get this information out to as many people as possible, as well as enabling you to see the videos the moment they come out. Also, I'm doing coaching calls. Our coaching and consulting modality is taking off. It's becoming the main pillar of the whole Real Javier Novo experience. I take you hand in hand through these modalities based on my years of experience in business consulting, and in working with this spiritual and intuitive material. So I will leave my email in the description. Please send me an email for coaching calls. That's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back tomorrow night, and the whole weekend we're going to be going into more detailed videos, as always. So with great love and appreciation, this is Javier, and I'll see you very soon.